People don't die of this disease anymore.
Nope.
No, they don't.
Young people don't die at all.
Right.
Middle-aged people die very little. And even elderly people have only a 1% chance to die.
That was Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, telling Americans, don't worry about coronavirus. Nobody dies from that. It doesn't kill anybody anymore. No, everything's fine. Now, look, here's the thing. The death rate is a little bit less than it was before because we have a little bit more understanding of the virus and we can treat it a little bit better. But let's not delude ourselves. People are still dying from this virus needlessly because there are millions of Americans that have decided we're not going to wear masks. We're not going to do anything, when it comes to protecting ourselves and each other from the virus. No, in fact, we're just going to get back to normal and do, demand that we go all into the Applebee's and into the movie theaters and all this stuff. And, let's just do that and we'll see what happens. Well, we see what's happening. Coronavirus is spiking all over the country as a result of this. But again, Rudy Giuliani says, no, nobody's dying from coronavirus. Even older people. No, older people are still dying from coronavirus. In fact, look, just a couple of months ago, Herman Cain, like a high-profile Republican, died from coronavirus. Look, we've got 750 to 1,000 people a day that are still dying from coronavirus. The death toll is up to 220,000, and there's a good chance that it's being undercounted. But no one's dying. No one's dying from this. Don't believe your lying eyes. No. Democrats, they're just trying to scare you. That's what it is. And that's what Rudy Giuliani goes on to say. No, it's just a Democrat plot. They just want to scare you so that you will vote out Donald Trump. It's pretty ballsy to say for a campaign that is run on basically nothing but fear. I mean, it's constant. The fear-mongering. I mean, whether it's fear-mongering about Joe Biden or Antifa or immigration or illegal immigrants or socialism, they've been running on that for a long, long time. It's consistent. Fear. Nothing but fear. They're coming to get you. They're coming to get your jobs. I mean, look, I don't know if you know who Tim Pool is. It's just apparently this guy is an alleged liberal. Comes out and says, no, if Joe Biden gets elected, they're going to come for you. They're going to come for your jobs. They're going to come for your family. They're going to, they're going to make these insane definitions of whatever. Pronouns. You're scared of pronouns. I mean, it's ridiculous. But again, that's all they have. Fear. Please be afraid so that you can vote for Donald Trump. It's absolutely ridiculous. That said, do the Democrats do fearmonger about Donald Trump a little bit? Yeah. But I think some of that's pretty justified, considering the state of the country right now. That said, do I believe people like Nancy Pelosi? No. No, Nancy Pelosi fundraises off Donald Trump. And so when she fearmongers, it's not exactly coming from a place of legitimacy. But when it comes to progressives and what we're concerned about with creeping fascism and authoritarianism and, basically the president signaling his support for white supremacists and domestic terrorist groups, then yeah, that's a big problem. When we are justified when we talk about how there is fear of that. And we also have the fear of, for example, Donald Trump using some of the stuff that was left over from the Obama administration, enhanced spying, kill lists, drone strikes, which he's used to devastating effect in the Middle East. Yeah, we are afraid of that stuff. And if we allow Donald Trump to have 4 more years in power, I mean, that's just allowing him to continue to use and abuse those things against us. And that's the issue. That's the problem. And so we are justified when we talk about some of that fear. But Republicans, again, I mean, you want to talk about fear-mongering. I mean, you've had Fox News every time there's a midterm election. You guys remember the midterms of 2018. Suddenly there were those immigrant caravans. The caravans, they're coming. Look at the caravans. All these undocumented immigrants. Here they come. Those caravans. Fox News would talk about that endlessly. Tucker Carlson talked about that endlessly. Wouldn't stop. The caravans are coming. And there would be, what, a couple hundred people crossing the border. A lot of them were refugees from some Central American countries that are racked with poverty and conflict and gang violence. These are the people that are trying to get away from those situations. They're not the gang members themselves. No, they're trying to get away from the gangs. But again, constant fear-mongering and consistent lies. And so the point is, conservatives run on fear all the time. It's because their voters are some of the most fearful people in the country. They're constantly using fear to stir up their voters, to turn them out. And yet, of course, when there's something you should actually be concerned about, worried about, for example, the pandemic. And here's the other thing. Republicans, they always say, oh, you can't be so afraid of the virus. You can't let that fear run your life. It's not being afraid. It's about being cautious and concerned about your fellow human being as well as your own health. We live in a country that doesn't guarantee health care. It's pretty stupid to go out and expose yourself to a virus, which may or may not put you in the hospital and leave you on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars worth of bills. That's not worth it. And so it's not really fear, it's a concern, and it's also called not being stupid. And what Trump supporters are doing is being stupid when it comes to the virus and not actually doing the bare minimum. Putting a piece of cloth on your face to them is scarier than anything else, apparently. And I don't quite understand. And not only that, but they should also be worried about climate breakdown, which it is, going to affect all of us in this country. We're seeing, increased storm activity, stronger storms, as they point out. Just environmental catastrophe and breakdown, which has an effect, again, on, not only the environment, but the economy as well. And so, no, they're not worried about that, though. But you bring up, the non-existent satanic pedophile rings, and they are all over it, man. But when we talk about actual human trafficking, when we talk about people, for example, you've got this doctor working for ICE that is doing, forced hysterectomies to immigrant women. Silence. When there's actual sex trafficking or sexual assault going on in these, these detention centers for young people, young women, even children being molested, assaulted, they say nothing. They say nothing. They're not worried about that at all. So they're always worried about all the fake stuff. And that's, again, the problem with conservatives is that they're always ginned up to fear things that they shouldn't. And they're not afraid of things that they probably should be, or not even concerned. It's all about fake news. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.